But it's about that time to kick this into the last series of the day. Miles and Chance, it's your pleasure right now. Let's get you on the screen. And fellas, have fun with this. Take it away.
Oh, Veli, if there's one thing you can count on is Chance and I to have fun. And this is going to be fun for one of these teams. For the other, it's Boston. It's going to be a stinger, potentially, because they're on the downfall right now in the points department. But I'm holding out, Chance. I'm holding out.
Well, I mean, downfall is too extreme, right? Because they still have a pretty big win against OpTic Texas. But I got to say, technically, this is like the least stressful match that Boston will have for the rest of the year. And it's against like the reigning champs, and you got to play them on Bocage map 1. So like it is truly make it or break it time. But obviously after this, Boston have both LAG and Toronto, 2 other bubble teams in like that head-to-head. So if you get a win here against Seattle, that is a massive cushion and a massive boost in confidence. So they are sitting in 6. There's obviously what 3 or 4 teams like right around them directly underneath within 20 CDL points. So it is down to the wire. It is make it or break it time. And if you're playing against Seattle on Bocage, you need Vivid and you need Nero to have some of their best games of the year.
Scary times right now for Boston Breach, but let's see if our speedy twosome can get things going against the squad who, quite frankly, run the cage. The Seattle have really been the kings of it for the longest of time now. Off to the races we go, and it's a 3 clean kills there for the boys of Seattle. Time going their way as well. We saw what they did to Paris not too long ago on this map, and it's just, I mean, it's business as usual, surely. Pred is on a spree already. Your boys flying. Good shots out of Vivid there. Keeps things going, Chance, but already nice start for Seattle. 7 seconds.
Yeah, and you know, not that anybody is going to be confused by this sentence, but Pred is obviously going to be the guy to keep an eye on pretty much the entire series. But on Bocage as well, he will be everywhere. He will have the go button to get kills, while guys like Mack have to do more of the dirty work, trying to play for those spawns. But big gunfight won there by Vivid means Boston will be secure for this P2 rotation. Actually, with that gunfight by Nero, pretty like free and clear. That is as far away as Seattle are ever going to be from this hill. So first 15 seconds are going to be guaranteed. We'll see if they can stretch it out the more.
Yeah, the question is really, can Boston hold it? What are the breaks for Seattle looking like so far on Bocage? Really nice work on the defense there from Boston. Spread out all across the map. That's the first life they've lost in a minute. So with that, time still going in their favor. You said the first 15 Chance were all good. Keep it going, baby. This is wonderful work out of Boston. TJ, his spree comes to a close, but for the rest of the team, it's all looking good. Zenny, unfortunately, may have caught himself 3 there, but brought down. Brilliant job there by Civ. So now, towards the hard point we go. Finally managed to get him off to Seattle Surge. Break is good. Accuracy's there. Shots are in. That's Seattle's hard point.
That's a big moment, too, right? Because things could have started to spiral a little out of control. Could have been a sizable lead, but a couple big wins by Accuracy, and I think the nades backing him down originally on point enough to make sure that it's not too crazy. That is actually pretty wild, right? I mean, it was the first 20-25 seconds on this hill that were, I mean, completely for free for Boston. And at the end of those first 2 hills, it's only a 6-point game. So that is one of the little things that Seattle does right. The nades always on point, accuracy, even in the feed, getting another kill. So utility, the game plan, everything right now for Seattle going well, including the push-up they have on this hill.
Yeah, still one play left up. Mack first from top grannies. He's going to keep dancing around here. Got a lot of work to do still. TJ, nice win. Keeps the side of that hard point safe. Simp trying to make it through the side door now. There's whoa, good shots out of Vivid. That's what we're talking about. That's the speedy boy. One half of the gruesome twosome who gets things going here on the cage. Nice bit of work again. TJ trying to get things going too. 8 and 7 overall. Love it. Nero through the front. He now goes. It is a wild one here on bottom side of grannies as Nero's is in, baby. He is in. Time once again going the way of Boston.
And look, it's not, you know, it's Bocage. It's not like any team is perfect at locking things down, but Seattle's certainly in the conversation of as good as it gets when playing the hills. Boston on the flip side, I think just need to be like the kings of the mixiness. And that is where Vivid and Nero can pop off. I think each of them have 3 different 40 bombs on this map. I mean, Nero, I think, has the 2nd highest overall kills game on Bocage. And hey, if TJ can be in the mix as well, he has been frying as of late. And I mean, he's got 10 to his name already, as you are pretty secure on this barn hill. That is the Metro 6 success for Boston. And I mean, hey, so far, so good.
Unlucky there from Thieves to finally get stopped, but Seattle, a little quiet coming out of this one. Methodz with the 2-piece in the feed. Time taken away. Nero the man on your screen. He's the man getting it. Less than 30 seconds to go here on the inside of barn. Red trying to find something through the back. Looking for an opening anywhere, and there seems to be a level of disconnect here. Chance from Seattle Surge. Not quite as fast, dangerous, furious they've been. here on the cage. They're getting held down here. This is going great for Boston, still keeping it all together.
Yeah, still though, you know, a little bit mixy over towards that old hill. Pred's causing problems. Fun enough, his teammate that takes him down. So even when things get a little bit mixy, it is Boston to come out on top and over towards that rotation. I think Boston not quite ready for at least the first man in the back, and maybe not going to be ready for the second. Seattle get the spawns. Do not have the hill time just yet, but you expect the storm to be in shortly. Actually, pretty nice play from TJ. Maybe just to slow the pace down. And again, if mixiness is the theme, keep these players out of the hill. Boston, good work.
Woo, Vivid. This is what we wanted to see out of this man. 14 and 11 thus far. An open hard point for a few moments. Boston find themselves over the 100-point mark here in the first hard point of the series. Accuracy trying to break from L. Not a chance, no hope in hell. TJ, once again, your boy's flexing, getting it all done there, whether it's the 40 or the auto. He's getting it all. 20 seconds remaining here on River. Seattle have not been too active, Chance.
No, not at all. I think something that it seems like Boston are doing right. I think Vivid literally just like knowing where like he's coming off on spawn of like where he is in line. He pulled out the automaton, ends up being the guy gate, gives nice little coverage. So I think Vivid might be a player to keep an eye on. A couple nice little plays you see already back to the MP40. So maybe just a player to keep an eye on. 17 kills to his name, and also with a pretty sizable lead, taking it to Seattle, who again, 9-2 in their past 11. One of those losses was to Strike X in a game that did not matter. The other two Atlanta FaZe, so Seattle damn near perfect. Boston showing up with some fierceness.
Yeah, we ain't out of the woods just yet. Seattle Surge, a little quiet, but here we go into the second set. We're already halfway through the first P1. And already, Boston keeping things all good together. Rotation's now going down. Gonna be a big fight now between Pred and Vivid. Exciting stuff now as they try to battle for spawns towards next. Good coverage there of Accuracy. Takes care of business. That's going to be Seattle Surge in the driver's seat going into P2. Nice 20 seconds to be had here on P1 as well. So a lot of time going their way. Boston looking to make the counterattack, but from back grannies, and Mack is making it hard for him.
And this is the first time I feel like Seattle have actually been able to stabilize and get somewhat of a setup that they actually like. You get Accuracy pushed out to his tank, and you actually win that rotation over towards P2. So this is the most normalized Surge have actually been allowed to get. But Pred gets taken care of. You get players for Boston in the back. Well, Mack is there. Talk about a massive two-piece on the flank that he's able to deliver for his team. And it was what, maybe a 50 or 60 point gap going into this hill. Seattle looking to make the comeback pretty quickly.
Yeah, they're trying to get it done here, slowly but surely, making it work out. Pred looking to get into the front lines now, sow some seeds of discourse in amongst this push, and he's going to get nothing out of it. TJ Methodz lighting up the feed, getting things going. Inside Barnell safe. Sib, he's going to be the man on the point now on the 3 spree, trying to find a few more before the hard point moves over. 25 seconds remaining here on Fields. We will go towards the inside of Grannies, and Sib, once again, the shots are all good. Good coverage on a Mack, helps his teammate get the kill. That's time, and now rotation's going down. Mack has gone all the way towards the back line.
And what a hill just to get back into the game. I mean, it's like,
oh, come on.
Not that either team had control of it, but certainly Seattle were on the back foot the entire time. As soon as they're able to get comfortable with a single setup, well, they already have the lead. You already got players anew. You get Mack on a 4, and that hill right there might have been the moment where Surge just turned the tide around.
Yeah, it's all coming together now for Seattle Surge. Boston not out of this yet, though. Bottom Grannies opened up. Here we go. TJ trying to get anything through the back line. Can't get it done. Nero now trying to get involved through the side. Still got that spree for Mack. Finally now comes to a close. Inside, you've got yourself Boston on the time now. One player left upstairs to deal with. And Nero, good job. And again, stuns all around. Good awareness now. The players coming in off spawn. Mack brought down immediately. Can't get another fight. There's Accuracy as well. Nero heating things up, getting things going. Vivid on the front as well. Time ticking. Boston may be able to pull the lead back, but they've got to hold it down. I tell you what, Chance, I'm going to spew. Nero's POV is pretty litty.
He's everywhere on the map. He's been gifted a little bit of freedom to move around, and this team, at least so far, have been delivering on the hard point. Maybe for these final 10 seconds, Surge want to at least attempt to contest, but it looks like it's not going to be good enough. Boston able to have a pretty nice bounce back, so nothing spiraling out of control just yet. We certainly have a battle on our hands, and even towards that rotation, causing problems. TJ for 2, Pred responds with 2 of his own, and you talk about a back and forth battle we are having on the cage. Still, scrappiness inside the point.
We love a bit of scrappiness. It looks crazy. Let's have a quick listen in now. Seattle Surge, your Major 3 champions.
He's in hustle, man. Look.
I'm pitching
Front single side time. Selling out.
That was nothing.
One strip there.
L corner. One shot.
L corner. I'm coming, bro. Top on. Back door.
Back door, one shot. I went.
Don't let me get out.
We're good.
Yeah, just keep making it.
Go to.
Nice.
Nice,
We got the
AJ.
back right.
I have your dub.
Oh my
Nice.
God.
Nice. Last guy. He's one take here. They want to take. Downstairs.
Come on.
Nice.
They're still spawning in the back. Boats.
One shot.
Where'd he
He's on
go?
the stairs.
I
I have left.
Okay.
They're dead.
I hit him. Touch on me.
One shot single. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
on the bottom
house
again.
Okay. You trying Dante or what?
Yeah, no, I'll get it.
Alright, open.
I got
time. You guys both watch me. One more far up.
Do I need to watch back?
Yeah. Far
Okay.
right.
I have back right. I have back
Okay.
right.
House, one shot. Watch me.
I have far back. I have far back.
One shot front door. Yeah, they're stunning me. They're
Top house got me.
Fuck, I'm getting enough time. I'm
Top
flanking
house.
front.
I give it back. I give it back.
One front of me. Front of me. Two front.
One shot front. Back house.
I need
Time in two front. One's going zig. He's going zig. 100%.
I spawned out.
Zig,
Big
zig.
kills. Come here. And one top bench as well. We'll kill time. Yeah. I'll kill bench. I'll kill bench.
Okay, I'll kill time.
I don't know.
I'm in back house. I'm waiting for you guys.
Bench.
Time weak.
Time
Let's
dead.
go back. Bottom house.
Ram. He's on time.
Yeah,
Behind the boat.
Yeah, he's behind the boat.
Behind the boat reach.
The rest are spawning out. Time as well.
I'm nading over.
One time, over.
I'm flipping us.
Nice, one time, guys.
Big
Big
kills.
kills.
I need
I'm looking over. Can you get him?
Yeah, I'll get him.
Nice.
Got time. I needed him, guys.
I'm
Shelling him. Right corner dead.
Yeah, I'm in
Front,
10. I'm in 10.
Front. One shot. Bench dead.
I'm pitching cuts right now.
Good route, Matt. Good route.
Zinni's cutting you, man.
I heard you. Team
Nice, bro.
Yeah, I'm laying
I
down
don't
back
see
here.
him. Tractor. I have tractor.
I spawn left.
Challenge this.
Tractor dead.
Nice.
He's on the right.
I'm gonna push up left. Pushing up left.
One shot in time. And
I
one
have right.
bottom house.
I have right.
I'm going to house right now.
Well, Chance, according to the comms, this is an absolute banging bocage.
Dude, and I mean, what? Vivid has 37 kills. I think I might have mentioned the 40 bomb thing where Vivid has 3 on the year. Nero has 3 on the year, where Vivid, I think, might try to be the #1 cage player, so to speak. And I mean, so far, so good. Now, admittedly, this is a P1 hill. You are lucky if you can even get 15 seconds collected on it. We already know that P2 might be like the setup for Surge. Their only path to success to get back in this game, that is where they got a near full 60. But right now, it is Boston with those left side spawns in Boston with that 50-point lead. Right now, they're feeling pretty good.
They're feeling great, man. Again, fighting through the front. It is not done just yet. 15 seconds remaining here on P1. Third set has to be the final one. No way. I mean, the game clock is coming into effect as well. 1 minute just remaining on that, let alone the madness in the scoreline. Here we go, though. Boston looking to close this one out right here, right now. They could get it on P2. Massive win there from Simp. Over towards the new hard point. He goes Vivid, trying to close him out. And here we have it, friends. 25 for the win for Boston. Seattle Surge. It's got to be true magic at your champs.
And they are desperate to stay alive. I mean, Vivid is just waiting to pounce on the attack as his teammates are inside the hill, and there's his move. Knows Max in the back, and well, his teammates there to collect. You get a couple, he makes the swoop in, and there is number 4. The feed is in Boston, running away with the cage.
And this is it. TJ's looking to drive the dagger in, twist it, turn it, take it all to them. Seattle Surge are bleeding out. The spawns have flipped. No one's got a clue. They're in from the back line, but there's so much time still to be had here on the point. Seattle can still get they can still try to hold it here, but Boston can still get the win. What the hell was that?
I mean, hey, 7 seconds though. Whether the flip comes through, it might be a mistake, it might be the game, whatever it is, you still have one more rotation. It is only 7 seconds to collect it. Hey, you get the trades on the rotation for Seattle. Simp is the last one here. TJ there, gone, taken care of. You get the top control. This is your game.
This is it. One last break from Surge to stay alive. Breach, you gotta just sit pretty, lads. Get cozy. TJ finds another one through the front door. No one to be had. Still on the point. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. Boston Breach, what an opener. Incredible pace set right off the rip as Seattle Surge left wanting there. A little quiet out of our champs. They start the series off slow, and hey, you gotta hand it to Breach. That was one hell of a cage.
And what an interesting map, just because, like, I think Boston in their previous 2 series were actually playing quite a bit of Gavutu, and not necessarily to like a ton of success. And I know there's certainly a bit of commentary of like, yo, you got Vivid on the team that like keep it to the sub maps, and they go against Surge, who, make no mistakes, like the elite of the elite on Bocage. And there you go, Vivid, 4,500 damage, 43 kills to his name there to take him down. And on top of that, also had the most hill time as well. So literally, you could not ask for anything more out of Boston for map #1. Vivid especially. And that is a hell of a way to kick off this series.
Spicy, spicy series already, friends. Look at these highlights. This was a fast one indeed. And hey, I think the pace was really set. Or, you know, the tone of the entire map was set early on. Boston got a great start. I mean, scoreline here again. They managed to keep Seattle Surge at bay for so long. And then that was pretty much it from then on out. Surge had one resurgence. I hate to say it, but they got it. Yeah, and then after that, it was pretty much all Boston Breach. They let one hard point really slip. Surge got back in. And then during the listening, we saw Breach really walk away with it. Superb stuff out of them. You can't fault it whatsoever.
And I would say probably overall, it is like the P5 hills where Boston really just like made their claim, right? You have moments like that from Vivid where he's picking up pieces. And this was the hill you can even still see on the minimap. It's Boston controlling it from the more difficult side. Even in the listen in we had with Seattle Surge, they're covering everything. You hear like accuracy, figuring out what he needs to pick up, but Boston just breaking him down. So obviously a pretty solid game through and through outside of one P2 hill, but I think P5 for Boston there has pretty much been the money maker. And again, just a super spicy way to interesting, because not just for the fact that you're winning on Bocage for Seattle, this is the first time they've lost it in such a long time. Like, it kind of changes the dynamic of a series. Like, what has been the safety net for the guys now sort of puts them in a spot where if you don't win the guarantees, it's going to be a lot more difficult down the line.
Yeah, we'll see. Beautiful stuff either way. I mean, I want to go back to that final moment of Breach. What they got the 4 down on P2. They're picking up all that time towards the end here. TJ drives into Granny's little far, and before you know it, you flip the entire spawn. Could have been the most unbelievable 200 IQ play from TJ to hit the guys inside barn, flip spawns, get them all out towards the backside tin, and then you just got plenty of time to walk away with that one. Either way, Bocage, you think of the past, a great start from Boston Breach here in the series. Tuscan, double dose, followed by the double Berlins. We'll see if we have to go all the way. But for now, Seattle Surge, they were feeling great coming into this one. I know the team's feeling fantastic right now, as well and truly they should, but you got your first sort of super solid, team going up against you now, and you've faltered somewhat. Is this a case of, for the 12th time we've said it today, the Vanguardian Leviosa? Are we on the downward spiral here, Trans? Or is this commentator absolutely faded?
I mean, I won't call you faded because, Thanks, remains to be seen. But that is just, come on, hot takes.
This is how it begins,
They
dude.
lose one map, and we're like, oh my God, the downfall is here. I can't believe it's all. No, I mean, we got so much more Call of Duty left to be played in this series, in this stage. So I refuse. No hot takes from me.
It's over. They're washed. Get it? Because they're a team with a more sort of nautical theme. Anyway, come on. We're having far too much fun here on the desk, here in the Call of Duty League, friends. Map number 2's on its way around the corner for Seattle Surge. I mean, Mack's looking a little grumpy. Very focused indeed. They wait for Pred to get back here. And for Boston, essential victories really here. I mean, we touched on this a tiny bit chance coming into the series, but for Boston Breach, I mean, this is definitely, after this matchup, it's not as stressful. If they can get a win here, just as far as the standings go, that changes their entire road to champs. Just one victory here before they have to play Paris, before they have to play Toronto, changes everything.
LAG, I believe, yes.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
And I think, I mean, again, technically
LAG
this
Toronto,
is the least stressful match that Boston have, just because, Toronto, there's only a 10-point buffer between those two teams. LAG, obviously, directly underneath Boston. So technically it's their least intense match, but obviously, again, you're reigning champs from the last one, and especially if you could pull off this win, it would be kind of nutty. If that's how this Boston, qualifying stage goes, where they're taking down the top teams and have much more intense battles against the guys right in the swing of things, because obviously that 0-3 loss to LA Thieves is going to sting, because that is the team directly underneath Boston, only 10 points behind. But if you're sitting in 6th place, whatever happens at the qualifying stage, everything will just be solidified at the major. And if you can beat, the team that was the best team in the game, at least at directly the last event, I mean, that just has to do wonders for your confidence, for your abilities, maybe even just to figure out the map pool just a little bit. Because again, if they were leaning towards Gavutu in weeks prior, if it turns out Bocage is actually a map that they have an absurd amount of potential on, you never know. An extra tool in the toolkit, more options at your disposal, and maybe long-term, Boston will be in a good spot. But obviously, again, still a lot of Call of Duty left to be played. Go towards this search and destroy, where overall, Boston are solid on defense, but a 3-4 record on this map compared to Seattle, 6-5 overall. So, yeah, Seattle loves their offenses. Boston loves their defenses. That'll be the square-up battle.
See how it goes. Before we get to that, quick look at Vivid. Nice start to the series, some 43 and 30 thus far. We'll see if you can keep that one going. Search and destroy. A question mark, of course, for the Boston Breach squad. You lose Capsule, you lose the heaviest hitter you've got. Let's see what happens. Through the mid-map we go from Vivid not missing a beat whatsoever, but the bomb has made its way over towards B real quick. First blood to Methodz as well, so interesting looks. And Nero eats a nade, and he's going to eat a lot more in a minute. So here comes Surge.
Yeah, no coordination, though. And look who actually has the coordination. It's Boston on the flank. Nero wins the gunfight up top. Methodz wins the next one, top church, and that is a perfect round. With a voice crack, too, just to add to it for Boston Breach. But again, I mean, you have the first nade literally landing on Nero's forehead. No follow-up. The second nade is not there, so a little bit of lapse in the actual coordination from the nades. And, I mean, obviously there's a few things that went wrong, including the first bloods. But, hey, Boston Breach, happy for it. Momentum continued.
Yeah, really good momentum. I was just trying to sort of make this subtle point that, you know, Breach have lost the pace and Search and Destroy. What does Methodz do? Catches two right off the rip. Vivid and Nero, a blistering round set early on here from Breach. Good job to them. Zinni's back at it on that first blood again, baby. Nero gets another one. Not a single hope in hell from Surge so far.
Oh, yeah, and the TJ snipes raining through the map. I mean, this is almost looking like the first two rounds from the London Minnesota Røkkr series, right? Just perfection for the first two. Seattle, killless. And the exact same thing, man. The first two rounds of some of these search and destroy is just one team absolutely destroying the other. I think actually was not the same thing for Atlanta FaZe, where they just ran them over the first two rounds. I don't know if anyone even like shot back. So 3 for 3 on the day, I think.
Yeah, it was what we saw bouncing like 2 1v4 situations, something like that. Again, it's just, this is ruthless. Breach, they ain't taking prisoners. Let's see if Surge can pull anything out here. Can they stop this wild wave of an onslaught from Breach? See how back on attack? I mean, we're going to stay on board with Breach because, hey, that's just the way it is. Vivid, is he going straight in? He might do it. He's going to go straight in. He might catch these boys out as they transition from the nades. He nearly... That could have been something nutty. But the first blood finally changes hands, and we're right back at it.
Oh, there you go. 3v3. And that's bomb down, funnily enough. So Seattle actually have to at least spend a little bit of time going back to pick it up. Obviously, not a problem for Sib, and maybe not a problem for Pred. Ready for the gunfights, and he actually gets out of dodge, and now he can push the pace. So you have completely opened up the A side of this map. And I think Pred has already gotten so much control of the map that it should just be the freest flank of all time.
It may well. You got timing great. There it is. Freebie. Teammate gets the other kill in the middle of the map. Seattle Surge right like that. Back into the match. Getting a little scary towards the start there, can't lie. little frightening. They changed the course of this one very quick.
Just a little tough to sort of get comfortable in your game, but Pred making moves, and that is the sort of thing you like to see for Seattle, able to stabilize. And I'd say, if nothing else, just happy to sort of catch Vivid out for that first blood. I mean, that's sort of just one of those like timing gunfights. If it goes Vivid's way, he at least finds the first pick, but it just does not. Now this is a stagnant post up there, just ready for this aggression. Methodz is here, but hasn't shot back. Meanwhile, this bomb is over towards B.
And Mack can get a two-piece out of this one. And Mack, well, what a shot out of him. Good timing. Nice bit of work there alongside Pred. Great opener there from Seattle Surge. Oh, to accuracy now on the other side of the map. Here comes Nero. Right on in the radio. Catches nothing of accuracy. That's a 2-3 right now. Vivid in the 1v4. He's in a lot of trouble now. Here comes the rest of Surge to close this one out, but he reads the first. Vivid, we dare you. A 1v4 in this situation? No, Surge. Bounce right back. Great rounds.
And sort of an awkward moment. It was what Methodz and TJ playing over towards the Vines area of the map. They know Pred was in mid, and I think TJ just completely gives up the actual, I mean, not even like full flank, just the push from outer. And, well, Mack will take the freest two-piece he is ever going to see. That'll deliver to another Seattle win. So I think this is how quite a few of the S&Ds today have gone, where it is just utter dominance, literally, I think, for the first two rounds, and then the turnaround starts to kick in. I know at least for the London series earlier, went to like a round 11 on the Desert Siege, so we might have a battle on our hands.
We'll see. A whole lot of action over towards the A side of the map. TJ's playing it real close, and he could be dead now. There we go. Mack, first blood. See how Surge put themselves in a nice advantage there. Accuracy's there to get another. Vivid, sadly caught unaware. Nero now in the 1v4.
Okay. Did not last very long for him, no. Yeah, no, not a fun spot to be.
One.
His hand probably poking out, holding the gun or something like that. So just able to get the shot through. But you talk about the first two rounds being perfect for Boston. That one effectively perfect for Seattle. Again, Mack being that entry guy, making the plays. And I think another time where TJ just completely unaware that a player was basically breathing on him, ran right next to him, and I mean, Mack will take that free first blood every day of the week.
Okay. Awkward timing, strange situation to be found in, but 4 spree for accuracy, 2 for Mack, 3 for Pred. TJHaly wins the battle there of the snipes over towards the A side of the map. That could be a plant now. This could be bigger at Pred. They're going to make their way around the corner, but Nero's in position. If he sees just so much as a barrel or a butt cheek creep through that door, it's in trouble. Nero, there are 2 ways to get that fight done. Mack gets himself his second on the round.
Yeah, and then it's on point as well, right? You double it up
on.
to get the guy off bomb, and there's the coordination we're used to seeing out of Seattle. Accuracy gets the intel for the double flank to come through, and Methodz just simply hunted down. I mean, simply in my mind, that's sort of what it was for the round 1 for Seattle when they're trying to hit towards the B bomb site of 1 nade lands on Nero's forehead, but there is no follow-up, so you don't actually have that intro. The bomb gets planted, I thought, for a second for free. You see Mack, I mean, he was chucking it from P5. He had some help as well from one of his teammates. Just double up the nades, get the guy off bomb, get that man advantage, and obviously nice plays dealing with the flank as well after the fact. So coordination on point, that is the Seattle surge we are used to.
Yep. Mack denied the ace, but still a brilliant play from him. The Seattle surge now springing to life as Boston breached their opening round. Antics have been snuffed. 5 in a row for accuracy, 5 in a row for Mack. We could be looking at double streaks right now for Seattle surge.
No instant first blood this time, though. I know Methodz has been at least in that contest.
Ow.
The fact that there's 2 players on a 5, though, is actually very scary.
Okay.
Obviously,
Terrible.
Glad Bomb's hyper impactful on this map, and Nero's got the intel, hasn't pulled the trigger. He has to be screaming to his teammate. There's 2 top church, but doesn't make a difference. The teamwork is there. Simp wins the first one to buy Mack the entry. Not only is it a 4 versus 2, 1 kill away from the glide, and I mean, hey, you got what? Pred nearby, just feed it to him.
Tej, oh my word, he's got these players dead to rights. Nero introduced himself to Sib in the most intimate way he possibly could find, and here we go. Tej from behind! 2v2, bomb down.
Still though, Mack, I mean, he's the guy looking for the glide as well, trying to clutch up in this moment. And he's got the angle. This is so tricky to check with the sniper.
Mack gets it. DJ last man up now. He's on the hunt, trying to catch at least one of these players out. Oh, the stuns come through. That's going to land. It's going to put him in a bad spot. That's another round from Surge. And you get the streaks. Oh, Tej just feeling that one, man. That's real frustrating. That's frustrating.
That is like the no panic mid-round adjustment that Mack needed. That was perfect. As soon as I see him lay down in that spot, I was like, no one's going to check this. It's just going to be impossible. And I mean, I know you sent the guy without the sniper in first, which is definitely the right thing to do, but just too good of a spot. Of course, accuracy is looking over top of his boy anyway. So there's what, now 5 rounds in a row? You get the glide bomb for the next one. And I mean, accuracy can also get a glide bomb if he wants it. So quite the turnaround we have had on this Tuscan.
Yeah, man, 2 glides. Oh boy, Mack. Eyes up, trade comes through immediately. Accuracy getting involved now as well. Oh, nearly not enough to get the job done, but it's a 2v3, still very doable right now, and the shots in from Sib could be huge. Tagged up, Trade's there, Pred. This is technically a 1v3. Nero's gonna go for it. He's gonna challenge him, and Pred, oh my word, the fight is still alive. Nero, hold the angle, gets it done. Oh, stops the bleeding. A crucial round indeed for Breach and Pred. So close, but no cigar.
God. That was looking like a classic TJHaly for a second there of just handing Pred the 2-piece. It's just, oh God, why? Like, I Pred, you know, get to win that every day of the week, but your teammate clutches up. You still have to deal with at least 1 glide bomb, but good news is TJ wins the gunfight against accuracy to shut that one down. So still an extra problem to be solved. Honestly, cold-blooded might be out and about, or maybe just aggressive through the middle of the map. Pred's on an island P5. Everyone else turtled up. I think they might just be waiting for the glide.
I would wonder if they got cold blood on as well. They might have made that adjustment. Breach, no slouch. Sib trying to find a pick. TJ back in that god spot. Ooh. Here it comes. Oh no, no one's dressed for the occasion. TJ might eat this. He does. Vivid. Oh no, Vivid goes down. What? And
dude, Vivid, you can see the skull. He was in the middle. How does that kill Vivid, but not his teammate?
We'll find out later. For now, accuracy Keeps the play going.
Oh
That is
my
a perfect round from Surge. Oh my God. I still don't know how Vivid died there, but we'll get back to that one. In the meantime, Seattle Surge, a decisive round indeed. Streaks certainly help, but that is it. We're tied up 1-1 in the series.
I mean, hey, as quick of a bounce back as you want. Maybe like TJ running in, like cut the corner to get behind the wall, and Vivid just like more. I don't know, man. I won't predict anything with this game. Tied up 1-1. Seattle Surge with the absolute instant bounce back into Tuscan, and I mean, you got to tip the cap to Mack. A ton of first bloods, was able to pick up 3, including a couple freebie 2 pieces. Got the Glide Bomb, double-digit kills. Couldn't ask for anything more.
Yeah, really. 11 and 5 to finish it on out. Over 1,000 points of damage dealt. Massive bit of work. And 6-3, dude. I mean, those opening 2 rounds from Boston were so impressive. We have to look back with, you know, fond memories of them. But after that, much to be desired. Okay, what happened here?
Well, yeah, so TJ's 100% the guy outer. You see Vivid and Methodz, like Methodz is hugging the wall, going up the step. Dude, Vivid is so far away from that.
I don't quite understand.
He is so far away from that, man.
He was technically the furthest person away from it. It must have been the explosion. So through what, the cracks in the top side of the church, there's a small opening where nades get thrown through. It's very possible that that was the sort of point of attack that the glide bomb managed to hit him on. But I mean, either way, friends, that's a weird one. A weird one indeed. Tuscan Control coming up next. After that, 2 doses of Berlin. But for now, a very peculiar, not necessarily a game-changing moment. After that, the round was basically done as Seattle Surge absolutely smacked their way through the remainder of the Boston Breach players. But ladies and gentlemen, that's it. We're going to throw to a very quick commercial break. When we come back, we're playing Tuscan Control. Crazy scenes here in the CDL. Don't go too far. The Call of Duty League is brought to you by Game Fuel. Victory in a can. And upgrade your game with a Scuff, the official controller of the Call of Duty League. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's time to get into game number 3 here in the last match of the day of the Call of Duty League. Week 2 of the qualifiers leading into the final major of the year. Time has truly flown, Chance. Speaking of flown, that glide bomb, Total Cacao, we'll get more on that a little bit later. We'll see you in all sorts of places. What the hell happened? We may never know. We stay on Tusk and those. We go into control now, mate. How you feeling? Of course, 1-1 in the series.
Similar-ish to how I felt on Bocage, but honestly, maybe leaning like even more towards Seattle. I think just going into it, looking at players like Vivid, looking at players like Nero, there's absolutely 100% without question pop-off potential on the SMG maps. And obviously on Bocage, if you're having one of those games, it just goes your way. On Tuscan, though, you certainly need a lot more coordination with your team. And I mean, obviously, Seattle has certainly looked like the better one. Number 1 on offense, number 2 on defense. It's not like Boston has been shabby. Seattle, obviously, your reigning champs for a reason. So maybe the one nice thing that Boston have in their favor, average ticks, they're actually number 1 in the league, funnily enough. So that is how you get that defense for the round 5. But I'm still thinking, you know, I don't know, 70-30 Seattle.
Solid numbers. We'll roll with it. All bets are off now, though, as we're loading into the map. But an exciting start to this series has put Boston within a wonderful position to cause a bit of an upset, cause a bit of a stir here in the later stages of the league. Here we go, friends, into control. A bit of love towards A. Seattle Surge, they will be the players attacking. We got ourselves onto that point already. And now Mack drawing his attentions to B.
And I think what Vivid did the exact same start that Nasty had earlier, but that's just for the first blood. Mack's still able to get behind enemy lines. Stun grenades hurt. Doesn't matter who throws them, but you certainly think about this flank. TJ, easy reads on that one, and well, a fairly strong start for right now, Boston on defense.
Yeah, lovely bit of work. They put the shenanigans to bed. Nero might be able to start some shenanigans of his own. He's already in from behind. Great awareness from Simp, though. Good read. Keeps Mack safe. Mid-map, though, not so safe. Vivid, he's the guy dealing the damage there. You're going to get at least one segment right now from Seattle Surge over towards A. A little bit of a pick there from Methodz, but Vivid still in the back line, able to cause a little bit of problems.
Yeah, just keeping things contained, you know, being a thorn in their side. You see a couple players on Seattle consistently turn to look at these flanks, and fun enough, it is Civ once again. Easy reads, very calculated, but I think Vivid may be happy to make that play, push out roof, just to make sure you're blocking those spawns and keeping things very distant. But it's shaping up to be a fairly standard start, right? A gets captured, very close on lives, and about 2 minutes for Seattle to work with to try to string something together to go to attack B.
Yeah, good job by Seattle. Again, you can, you know, give them kudos for counting players and making sure that no one is left unaccounted for. And Pred now, he's between a rock and hard place, but he may be the rock right now, keeping his team alive and kicking in this push, and that's it. Done. Cleaned up, finished. Accuracy, top right-hand side of the map. He is in a corner, friends. I don't think I've seen anyone in there yet. Here comes the support from Civ to get this play moving. 2 in through the back line, 2 through field side for Surge.
Yeah, and TJ going to be the player here to meet him, and hey, it's an obvious spot, but he takes down one. Methodz knows exactly where he needs to turn and look, and there you go. Number 2, the player to fall. Seattle like the dominoes, one by one they go. And maybe Mack behind enemy lines can cause problems, but Methodz is still posted up, just ready for that push. So everyone else for Boston, they get the freedom to push up on the map, be aggressive, be annoying. And Nero on a 4, causing all sorts of problems.
Yeah, so 18 lives now for Breach on the defense. 13 remaining for Seattle Surge. So Mack's still trying to stay alive here. And Nero's the problem. On a 5 now, still going. He's in the wrong part of town, but he's making it work out. TJ gets another. So Boston Breach with the picks. They are keeping Seattle Surge on their toes. Methodz wins a big one against Mack, as the COD gods are not smiling upon Seattle here in this opening round.
No, I mean, Nero's had complete freedom. Massive kill by accuracy to actually shut down the streak, so no glide bomb. The 15 versus 9, Methodz finally gets to move forward, but he immediately gets traded. And now somewhat of an opening for Seattle to get nearby, but Nero off spawn wins another big one. And I think Boston have been very comfortable so far in this defensive round. 24 seconds and only 5 lives for Seattle to go.
Yep. 12v5, 20 seconds, not a whole lot you can do right now, but Nero wins another big gunfight. That's massive out of him again. 9 and 4 overall, finally taken care of there, Mack. Last hope now for Seattle Surge to make their way forward. If anyone can make their way through church side as well, it's going to be Sib. A pick or two would be great. Gets a trade. Onto the point we go. Is it all in vain? The answer is yes. It all comes down to Pred. The round is sealed. Great work again out of Boston there on that opening defensive round. Now we swap sides.
Yep, clean and easy. About everything you'd really want to have. You know, appreciate the setup that Boston had, right? Leave your 2 AR players in the back, hold a lane. If the flank is open, TJ, just stay there. Even if it's for 45 seconds where you just don't move an L trigger, you are getting value on the map, because when you have the free and clear setup in the back, these guys like Vivid and Nero have the green light to go crazy, be as mixed use as you want. You're trusting your teammates in the back line, so you get a nice, easy setup on defense, never get broken down. Massive advantage in the kills department, and obviously an opportunity on offense to try to string something together.
Yep. Opening hit now towards A once again, but the defending hit from Seattle Surge is all good. No one from Boston really able to get too much going forward there, but now you're going to find anything from Nero going through the inside of Church. He was such a nuisance on defense in that opening round. We'll see what we can do now on offense. Finally get ourselves on our way. Just over a minute on the clock. Might be able to capture this one bar any last minute hits from Surge.
And Seattle are in fact turtle enough for the Turtle Club, right? Just, you know, rotating over towards B. Zero interest in defending A in the slightest, and maybe no need. Obviously, the lives are always going to be important in Boston, the ever so slightest of edges. They're capping it slow enough that, again, it's one of those situations, they're just buying their teammates freedom. You get 2 players in and around Church that, I mean, effectively are literally just playing for kills. And it's still another 15 seconds to go before A gets captured, so just a little bit more freedom for Boston to try to make moves, but obviously Mack doing the exact same thing, and maybe he'll actually stop A in the nick of time, or maybe he'll just give it up and take the kill after the fact.
There's a lot of presence from Boston over towards B as well now. At least 1 or 2 kills, and this play is on. Nero's only got himself a glide bomb as well. 15 of 4, going absolutely wild. Still on the point. Wow. Finally gets one brought down, and that's a massive win. Still Zinni keeping things going. 11 of 5 for him. And this is far from done now. He's gonna get caught here, but that's unfortunate. Pred now, sure, cut down by Vivid. Play still going. Good work on the defense from Seattle Surge. 19 lives for Boston still to get this done.
He's talking about a big gunfight, right? Mack loses that one up top. That actually probably would have been an opening, at least for a lot more pressure over towards B. But either way, it is still a 5-life lead and 13 lives on Tuscan with 1:20. Not super comfortable, but there's a pretty big 2 just to keep things nice and secure. So obviously right now, an important moment for Surge. Can't go too crazy in the lives department, so more big gunfights being won by Mack, and while he's getting hunted, he's popping pieces. Give him number 3 as well, and talk about that life disparity not really mattering too much anymore. Surge have turned up right now on defense.
Yeah, massive work from Surge, still keeping this one going. Stacked up, they got all the time in the world now to pick the corners. Yeah, get on your ledges, you name it, boys. Got 2 on the back, 2 towards the front. Now just waiting for the hit from Boston. Nice nades, though. Oh, dear. Nero and TJ time it perfectly. They get 1 each. Here comes the hit through the front now. Accuracy trying to hold it down. Can't get a lot done. He is suppressed. Still manages to find a kill out of this. Unbelievable. Nero now through the back. TJ cuts him down. Last man going. Here we go, Boston.
At 10v4, you just leave 1 man on the point. I mean, if you want the ticks, you can stack it, but get at least a couple more kills before you make it happen. The nades come through, but you trade out 1. No respawns remaining, only 3 lives. You can take your time, but you gotta get a trade. And Methodz is right now in between 3.
Oh my god, Teach could catch one. No, he doesn't. He gets brought down. Oh my dear. Only 2 members of Seattle Surge left, but they are making it work. Mack, Pred, finding these kills. 20 seconds to go. They could honestly do it. They could keep the defense going. Zinni's going to make his way through tile side. You got 1 on the flank as well. It's going to be absolutely magic from Seattle Surge to stay alive here. 1 nade lands. Shots are in. Anyone there to get on the point and stop the clock? Indeed. TJ checking corners. Pred finds another. Mack now last man up. Teach, did he get the kill? He should. And what a crazy round it was, but Breach stay alive.
Dude, and there you go. I mean, we were talking about the lives, like partway through the round, Boston had the slowest A capture of all time to let their players roam around in Church, try to find every single extra kill. And I mean, admittedly, Mack made it super interesting. He's picking up 3 pieces, but in the end, the lives is where it bit you. And just for the fact that, like, that slow A capture, like little decisions like that, obviously when there's, what, 2 seconds left on the clock, the little things go a long way, and Boston now have a massive edge on this map.
It's as simple as that, man. It's just play the OBJ, get the job done. 2-piece out of Pred just to get things going. Mack's going to join him in the kills. TJ keeps the backside of Church safe. No one we had there from Sib. It's good work all around. 23 and 10 out of Nero. Every now and then, the Tuscan Tyrant comes to play, and he certainly turns heads. Massive win on a Mack. He's now starting to heat up. This is a terrifying prospect for Seattle Surge.
Yeah, when he's on, he's on. No doubts about it. Even through the middle of the map, getting a little bit of that intel, and he doesn't have to chow this anytime soon. And keep in mind, it has been a much quicker A capture overall, so Boston have 23 lives for 2 minutes and 15 seconds. You never know how it's going to play out, but this is certainly a little more normal as Surge working a double flank.
2 through the back, 2 through church side. Accuracy now giving the 3 spree. Get a pick or two to be great. Here comes Pred. The pinch is now on. This could be Platt all taken care of. That's it. You're running out of players now for Boston Breach. Straight to the point. Surely now Surge go. They've been here before. They know exactly what to do. But Nero finally taken care of. You've got at least one player on the point. Now getting the capture in through the church side. Now come Boston.
And as soon as top green is open, that is much more of a problem. Accuracy has to be concerned about getting shot from a couple different sides. So you see he's starting to make moves, and it's a lot more dicey about what direction you gotta go. Number 3's flanking as Nero's hitting through the front. There's the flank. Free kill number 1, free kill number 2, and it doesn't pick up the 3rd, but at least hold on defense. Only 1 tick secured, and Boston took their time to make that happen. But again, a couple of geek gunfights. As soon as you open up that flank possibility, you're feeling a little bit safer.
Close, but no dice on that second segment. Drained effectively there by Boston Breach. Now Mack managed to get a sort of hit and run now. Nero's got himself a tight corner lane prone there on the inside of Platt. Surge winding up now for the hit. Mack will be the first man in. Checks the corner, doesn't check it. Gets taken care of now. Nero looking towards 30 kills soon. Pred, though, managing to get the kills, get himself on point. Methodz from the back line, covers at least 1. Rat in hand. Can he take care of Simp? This is to keep his teammates kicking here. Nice bit of work there. Vivid gets 1 as well. And what can you say, friends, other than beautiful work, Boston Breach?
Dude, and Nero again up top, just making sure he wins sort of like those entry kills. 28 in 12. I mean, again, sort of like the setup and idea from Boston on this map is to give players like Nero freedom, which he has taken full advantage of and then some. 11v11, but obviously Boston on defense. Advantage right now. They're just picking them apart in these respawns, and I think Surge a little bit scattered. A player over towards P5, trying to work the field and getting gunned along the way. TJ taken down 2.
And this is an uncharacteristic performance out of Seattle Surge, especially given recent form. 10 lives to the 8. The Surge are in trouble. Mack, though, will not go quietly into the night. The final 30 seconds here. All angles covered now from Boston Breach. Nero once again terrorizing mid-map. 30 and 12 now. This could be an opportunity for a big play. For the final lives now remaining for Seattle Surge. 6 for Boston.
And like it from DJ, get the nades out over top, cause problems. You see where that nade lands, and Simp forced to back down gun, doing everything right for a 5v2 and on a Tuscan control. But it's gonna be a hot 3-0 unless Mack and Pred go crazy. Pred able to win 1, but there you go. Vivid takes care of him on the flank. And that is a wild game 3. I mean, after this, my 2 questions are, 1, how good are LA Thieves? And 2, why did Boston play him on Gavutu?
We may never know, brother, but all we do know is Boston have got the lead here in the series. This is amazing. This is incredible timing for Boston. Definitely one of the harder matches they've got rolling through the remainder of their stage, that strength of schedule, and they are taking it to our reigning champs. Unbelievable stuff out of Boston Breach. They are going to set themselves up magnificently going into those next 2 matches if they can close this series out. It is not over yet. In fact, it is far from over. But my word, it comes down to a Berlin hardpoint up next. We could be calling Boston the winners here.
And I mean, even just looking at the stats, right? Sib in this game gets completely shut down. And I mean, both on offense and defense, the setups from Boston are basically just, you have players on your team that like to go rogue. So they just had their strategy built around that of like, all right, everyone will do the dirty work outside of Nero. Nero go crazy and did exactly that on both offense and defense. So that is sort of the perfect recipe for success for Boston Breach. But I mean, as you stated, obviously it's only, a 2-1 lead. Series ain't over yet. And obviously for this Berlin hardpoint we're going to, Seattle have had quite a few wins on this map as well. I think the #1 P1 team in the game. And I think if I'm making the game plan for Boston, that is probably the hill I'm hyper focused on for these rotations. If you can shut Seattle down on that first hill, and I don't mean off the opening break, I mean for the later rotations, you should have a good time.
We'll see, man. It's not going to be an easy matchup whatsoever. Pressure is now on, and Seattle Surge, they have been flat in this series. Aside from the greatness we saw in the Search and Destroy, it has not been a good look at 3-0 smacking there on Tuscan. And the hard point, again, a better map for Seattle Surge that Boston absolutely stole from them. I've got to just roll with it, man. Current form right now, Breach are looking great, but it's still a long way to go before we can really close this series out, because that Berlin is going to be a bloodbath.
And I mean, again, it mentioned before about how this is, you know, the half-joking statement of the least stressful series Boston will have like for the rest of the year. Obviously, the pressure is still on tenfold. If you get a win against a top dog like this, it is confidence going into the majors, and then just like the cushion that you get, right? Because the two teams they have after this, Toronto, who, you know, quite frankly, haven't exactly looked great like post-major, and then LAG, who you can say the exact same thing about. So, I mean, in theory, the matches get easier for Boston after this, and if they're taking down the top dogs, get that 10-point cushion. I mean, they're making their case. Maybe like, so the conversation for Boston, maybe instead of like the bubble team fear of not being in the top 8, should be how high of a seed they can get. Maybe for being more positive for their camp, you know?
I mean, well, either way, right now, what, 140 points? They win this, they go to 150, they tie with Ultra. And then after that, it's anyone's game. Yeah, LAG, they can take that team out. They're not looking so strong right now. This could be an amazing turnaround for Boston, or it could be the beginning of the end, but we'll find out. I mean, a loss here would be devastating, absolutely devastating for Boston. But we'll see, man. This is at the best they've looked for a really long time. I've had my doubts about this squad. They haven't exactly been delivering when, you know, you would expect them to. But for now, man, it's looking great, especially against Seattle Surge. Vivid has rejuvenated this squad. Methodz looking as fine as he has in quite some time. Everyone's certainly bringing the goods. Can they close it out now on Berlin? Chance, this series has taken a dramatic turn that I did not expect.
Yeah, and I know literally after map 1, I was like, Miles, I'm not going to go with the hot takes, but I'm definitely cranking them up just a little bit out of just sort of excitement and bewilderment in this series. Because, I mean, maybe for the flip side, to just touch on Seattle more, I think literally the interview we just had from Pred after they beat Paris, he's talking about how he's playing the game in slow motion, how Surge feel like they have everything like nearly perfected outside of like, you know, there's always small tweaks you're going to want to make to your game, but it was nothing but positive things, and talking about how they are striving for perfection throughout this stage. And I mean, here we are immediately after Paris in your second series, and I mean, you can see a little bit more animated as they usually are, or than they usually are rather, and not a fun spot to be in. Boston has the better average plus minus on the hills. I know it's still a decent map for Seattle, but 5-5 compared to Boston's 4-5, and certainly on the day, Boston have been playing just a little bit better. So an interesting one to see. Maybe guys like Sid try to get that bounce back map in. I know 13-25 on the Tuscan control. Certainly on a map like Berlin, I mean, you don't necessarily need Sib to fry. I know this could be Pred's playground, but gotta kick it up just a little bit.
Yeah, we'll see. This is one team who love to give us a real spicy series and turn things around last minute. It can be Seattle Surge. Another point we go, Boston Breach preferred side, the first in. How long can they hold it for? Seattle trying to get the break. Nero, I mean, he's hungry for these kills, already going for it. Sib, though, big win. You still have Boston on point.
And there you go, 4 men down, first in, trying to be the last one out, get as much of this hill time as you possibly can. Pred might be able to get that entry, but you expect it true. You're gonna jump over. That is unfortunate. Pred with the 2, and now the opening is truly in.
Oh, this is great. Pred's staying alive somehow. Where did that stun go? We may never know, but the kills are all good. Boston Breach still with the time. Now you've got the spawns completely on the other side of the map. They're making their way over towards P2. This is a clean 15 that's easily going to go the way of Surge. Unless it looks like Nero might be trying to hit this. Taken care of. Good stuff. Pred on a 4.
That's kind of crazy too. I think Nero actually checked like the right corner, so he had some awareness that Pred was looking for those kills, but doesn't make a bit of difference. And now Boston actually sort of in an interesting spot. A near perfect break turns into a 4 spree from Pred, where he is trying to take you to task and now trying to break through the hill by himself. There's that SMG gunfight that Boston so desperately needs to win. Vivid delivers, and Boston trying to rack up a little bit of this P2 time.
Yep, fair time. Accuracy trying to find an entry. Good shots on Nero, not enough to get the kill. Nero and Vivid, they are doing their thing here on the point. Methodz on the outside as well. As the kills are all good for now, you're going to see Seattle Surge still try to make the break here. Plenty of time still to get this done. 30 seconds remaining. aBeZy gets a little antsy, makes his way on the outside of the point. The 4-man hit now from all angles. Only one of them taken care of now from Boston Breach, but that time they are soaking it up, friends.
And I think we're having Methodz tag up all these players on the cross for Seattle. That's why they're getting close, but having to slow down. So the tags are in. You're buying Vivid time to work with, and he might fall, but that is still a decent chunk of time on P2. Boston are able to collect. Happy for it, but I think what we saw in Bocage is Seattle, when they actually win rotations, can lock things down for a full 60. So interesting moment of the game. Couple trades coming through fire. So Boston have a little bit of pressure. And Vivid delivering. He's on a 4 spree. I mean, this might be the best Vivid has looked all year.
No, this is great. Into the contest. And he's baiting his boys brilliantly. He manages to draw so much of the aggression there. Nero comes through, finds 2 more out of that 3 spree now. Eyes towards fire. Pred's in. Are we going to be able to get more kills out of Vivid? Yeah, we are, man. That spree's going now. Finally comes to a stop at 5. 10 and 6 overall for him. Nero also having a wonderful look so far. As Mack finding at least 1 kill. Pred bounces a nade off that table right into the mouth there of Nero. Kills are done. That's going to be the Seattle Surge boys back at a point.
And they read the spawns as well. Took him an extra second, but they knew they had Docs nice in control. So all guns forward. Final 15 seconds, obviously, their way. And I don't know. I mean, Boston certainly get the break. So maybe for Seattle, not as good as they would have wanted. Somewhat of a wash and somewhat of a good read right there from Sid to take down Methodz, but he ends up getting caught. So Boston trades on point. They've locked everything down. You get clearance over towards this P4 hill where I know at the start of the year, it was difficult for any teams to actually lock it down, but recently it has become somewhat of a money hill, and Boston right now here to collect.
Yep, trains up. Boston are getting a ton of it so far. Vivid on the quick reposition. They know at least 1 player's coming from the backside. There's a bit of a pinch on now. The typical spawns there for the attackers down by that long train side of the alley. Lamar from up top. Tags are in. Damage dealt. Trying to take care of as many of these players as possible. Here comes Vivid on the pinch. Nice work. Seattle Surge. This should be the break. TJ, last man up. Waiting for the spawners to come through. And TJ staying alive. Good bit of work from him. And that is a nice 2. You still got the numbers from Surge on point. Next 15 are all theirs.
I was going to say, well, I mean, hopefully for Boston, maybe a couple nades come through to actually get him off this time. You do not want to actually give away these final 15 for free. So Methodz trying to make moves and actually caught him between a couple players. Him and Nero to take him down. So nice little battle for scrap, right? And you also have players like TJ, by the way, inside of P3 trying to flip these spawns. So you have big gunfights being won on both sides, and it's just chaos. But now things go back to sort of 50-50. Seattle at least have the spawns, but no one really has that hilltop.
Yeah, similar looks from the Bocage. Again, you got Boston Breach for the early leads. Nice 2-piece out of Sib. Starting to get the pressure on, finding these kills. Do you still know where these members of Breach are spawning? Still towards that warehouse side. Here comes the hit, right out of spawn, into Sib. Finds 1 more before being taken care of. P5 still certainly in the hands of Seattle Surge, as they have got map coverage. Methodz has gone on a bit of a route now, Chance. He's trying to find something towards that back fire side, and he may do, but for now, all good for Surge.
That is actually wild timing. I think Sid was actually making this read, but it wasn't quite perfect. And his teammates are actually still spawning there. Methodz just now got a kill, so now you know the name of the game, but this is the moment for P1. We talked about how Seattle, #1 team on this hill in the game. Accuracy looking for the entries, but he is nearly by himself. Pred gets caught. Accuracy falls, and this is the hill where Boston, well, can't win it now, but the hill to be the difference maker.
Well, Boston, they are looking good out here now, friends. Let's dive in for a quick listen in. Boston Breach.
I'm pitching.
Let's look at Breach. Take it open.
I'm watching
Take
full
a step,
flank. I'm watching full
Take
flank.
outer. Take a step, Mack.
Nothing full flank.
I'm P5 right now.
I don't see the B2.
P5 on me. P5. Take a step.
I'm flanking P5.
One shot P4.
I
P4.
kill
Hit
him.
him.
I kill him. Tim, go to Secret.
Secret and dub. Secret and dub.
Secret. Right side P5.
First step down.
Nice shit.
I need close to me. He's circle Dashy.
Nice. I needed it.
I needed one push.
Give me alley.
I'm in tunnel.
I'm watching dub subs.
I have alley.
One dub subs. One's alley. I'm flanking Secret.
Hydra close long. I'm sitting glass.
Secret. Glass.
Don't die.
Nice, that's him.
Long one.
Don't die. He's dead.
Nice. You can push
Let's
dual.
get back. I'm on mid.
You can push dual.
He's in behind you somewhere, okay?
Okay.
I'm gonna play for spawners real quick.
Okay.
P5 me. Oh, watch out, P5 Pred. He's going second post.
Dead.
Nice.
Think me no one Hydra. Yo, push out fire. Shot fire, didn't he?
Nothing before.
Yeah,
Fire.
fire team. I'm gonna try to get top P2. Yeah, like the fire truck to your
P4,
left.
dead.
Rare.
I'm
He's
smoke guard. Yo, Mack. That's what Mack.
The back's at town. S2.
You guys have right side P5 Pred.
Sib is us too.
I think Pred went straight on me.
P5. Step down mid. Watch out dead.
Nice.
Shoot tank on me.
Back where else spawns. Bring back.
I stun him. Street tank.
BSND on street tank. One more close. Let's get close, Joey. Touch Joey. Okay. Yeah, back on me.
S1 that weak.
Keep going on.
They got me, their door.
S1 stairs, Mack.
Lamar,
I got it.
S1 stairs, Mack.
And Lamar's their door, absolute.
You can hit out.
Down to 75 right now. Done.
Nice.
Lamar's probably...
3 tanks.
It's got them out in the climb chance. Seattle Surge trying to get back into this one. What do you make of the comms?
Well, honestly, didn't even listen to the comms because I was actually looking up the old stats for the P1 hill. Taking a look at it now. Seattle, since stage 1, averaged like 17 points, outscoring their opponent on that hill. That is #1 in the game. They have won the rotation of P1 86% of the time. That is where they have made their money on this map. And obviously, you see the scoreline. Boston, that is the hill that they end up winning. They got the 40-point lead, and everything else has been either scrappy or just solid for either team. So right now, Boston, they've done the hard work. Now it's about the easy stuff. Lock down this hill, bump up that lead just a little bit more, and just keep slaying. These guys have been on point.
I mean, this is a lot of kills from Seattle now. Now you find yourself on the point, a clean break. All of the members of Boston Breach taken care of. Pred's now starting to get things going. Accuracy, he is the man on the team right now. 25 and 19. Doesn't have the most hill time, but he's putting in the work here on Berlin. That AR ringing out. The counter break now coming through, and there we have it back in the hands of Surge. 20+ seconds remaining here. You're absolutely going to fight for this one, but again, a little bit of lack of awareness, maybe a little bit of discourse there when it comes to the comms. Seattle just looking a little behind here, Chance.
Dude, and we talked about Nero getting the green light to have that freedom. You talk about big gunfights. He picks up a 2 in that old time, and Seattle are leaving because they want the rotation, but they are still so far away. And that could have been 10 seconds of scrap for Seattle. Instead, it's 10 towards Boston. So that's a 15, 20-point swing where Nero might fall, but his teammate's still here. So a lot of those little plays add up, and Boston taking full advantage of everything at their disposal.
Yeah, they're still trying to make the break here. This good work out of Mack. Somehow gets the second kill. Now we're onto the point. TJ got to go big here. Awkward time to reload as Simp. Oh no, could be the same for him. He gets dropped down as well. Damn, son. The kills are good. You got Surge still trying to make the way forward. Vivid, can he win it? Yes, stays alive. It is an absolute rager here on Train.
That is most accurate player in the league 2 years running. Vivid to you. Just the beams on accuracy on that tank. But in spite of the beams, Seattle still with a little bit of fight in them. Is similar situation on P4 last go around where I'm trying to fight for this scrap, but there's still a 50, 60 point gap. You go to a P5 where, I mean, it is somewhat of an open field where Boston can sort of just like, camp top third, play for kills, throw bodies at the hill when you get the chance. And not just that, I mean, that rotation in P1, Boston, slight advantage. You got #6 accuracy. He is taking the longest route of all time. He just had 3 players falling right on top of him, and he gets caught. So all of that effort and energy just for the spawns to crush you. And Seattle admittedly are getting this hill time, and this would be the path, man. It'll come down to P1, as it always does.
Right, trying to do all he can. A lot of time given up here from Boston Breach on P5. So eyes toward P1. It's not too far away from finish. 25 seconds. Boston back into the point, finding these kills, and now you are starting to put the pressure on Surge. That is it. The noose is slowly tightening around them here in the series. Zinni holding them down, keeping the kills going. Time ticking, Chance. Seattle Surge, they are floundering.
Now you just keep him contained too, because Nero's pushed out to the tower. That's what TJ is trying to pick up, and he might fall, but you get the clearance towards P1. The best money hills in the game, especially so on this map. And again, Boston win the rotation. Uncharacteristic for Seattle, who now have to fight.
Here they go, trying to get anything through front line. Pred taken care of. Accuracy now through stone. Up steps, they clear it up. That's a nice break. 3 members of Surge up now. All they have to do is set up, try to identify the spawns, and look at them fanning out, trying to find it. It's Mack. He's going to be the point man. He was the vanguard, now taken care of. Over towards the point, it will come. Pred catches a few. Can they find any more kills before the battle gets towards that front line? As the hard point now, here come Boston.
Dude, what a wild setup for them to read those spawns. I mean, again, when they actually get the control, this is where they make their money. You get the one break, and well, here they go. Methodz with the beams, but should be traded. Seattle still secure. Final 15 seconds matter. Pred wins another one inside the point, and well, now just trying to play with his food. Nero looking for a couple trades, but it is in for Pred. And on that rotation, who is it? TJ versus Simp inside the point. TJ right now just trying to stay alive.
DJ's got to stay alive, just got to chill. Zinni's there to help out, take care of Simp. Here we go. P2's up. You've got it now for Boston Breach, and this is it. This is Miller time. It's 240-10 for the win now. As you see it, Boston are holding it down. Boston are finding the kills, and it comes once again down to Methodz. Wins the fight. 5 now for it. Bread's got to get in there, and he cannot. Zinni and co as Boston on the final seconds. What an upset. And that is a stunning victory as their campaign to champs continues. Boston Breach for the upset over Surge.
And welcome to your stage 4 qualifiers, just adding to the spice. I mean, they took down OpTic and we're like, it's OpTic with the sub, but now taking down the champs. Doing it on some of their best maps and I mean, on some of the hills where Seattle are their best. I mean, Boston getting those rotations down. And again, I mean, I don't know how many times I've said this of I think Vivid is the most interesting player to look at throughout this stage, just because he was in, calling it a system feels kind of like polite to Florida Mutineers early on. He was in a tough spot and his stats, he was towards the bottom of the league, but I don't know if anyone actually wants to say that he was towards the bottom as an individual. Now he's in a new system. You can see a lot of the ideas from Boston. Sometimes it's Nero, sometimes it's Vivid that just get the green light to fly, but he's in a different system, having a ton of success. Certainly one of his better series the entire year. Took him to task on Bocage, and I mean, hey, that is 3 for 3 on the respawns for Boston. What a massive game for those guys, just to try to get that separation from the pack. I mean, I believe they are now tied for 5th in the standings, and I mean, technically the series they have after this gets a little bit easier. Doesn't mean they're any less intense, but Boston are going to be over the moon tonight.
Oh man, that's such a tremendous victory. And yeah, kudos to Vivid. He's looking great, finally seeing the potential of a player that we've been singing for so long. This system's certainly working out. Nero also having a wonderful series, man. The performance he put through on that control, also unbelievable for Seattle Surge, though, man. I mean, what was the problem? A little flat, just didn't have a lot of answers for the ruthless aggression of Breach, and Boston finding success where so many had written them off. I mean, I'll check the predictions, but I don't think too many folks had Boston winning this series.
No, I mean, I think the problem is, honestly, for the most part, it felt like they were just getting gunned to a certain extent, and then a couple key moments were, more or less getting outplayed. But I think Boston just, showed up on the day and just were straight up the better team. I mean, you see in the kills department right now, Mack certainly having a slow one. I know we cranked things up a little bit towards the end, but even for the Tuscan control, it was Civ that was 13 and 25, and I mean, this is not shade. It is not a good sign when accuracy is the main slayer on your team. That is not how this system is supposed to be at their best. So not the best sign for this series. And now an interesting moment for Seattle. Do they get hit with the Vanguardian Leviosa, as you pointed out, or
oh, mate,
and they just sort of brush this one off?
I think that's it. It's that whole thing. You win a major, the next thing that happens to you, you get choke slammed. And that is kind of what we may have seen there from Seattle Surge. Plenty of time still, again. Ample opportunity for them to turn things around, but for now, man, that's a lot of bees, baby. That was a tough one for Seattle Surge, and congratulations to Boston Breach. What a victory. 10 more points in the bag. They look much happier now going into the major and keeping themselves above that 8th place mark in the standings. Brilliant stuff out of Boston. What a shock. Nobody, and I mean nobody, saw that coming, did they, Desk? None of you did.
No, I
did not.
I didn't see it coming, especially after that LA game. But you know what, Miles? A lot of people, me especially, we wrote Boston off because of that last L against the LA Thieves, remember? But I'm just going to say, hey, I'm just going to chalk it up to online play.
I mean, the last series, Thieves just played them with a lot of confidence. But right there, it was Boston with all the confidence in that series. I mean, a little bit of Vanguardian Levioso, as they like to say. But what a special performance, man. And they needed these points in this one. Like, that control was clinical in the respawns. And then we're talking about players like Vivid and Nero, the two Fast and Furious, as you like to call them. I know Ali's sitting at home screaming right now. When you look at Vivid and Nero, that's what you need out of these guys. Map 1, Vivid goes crazy. We talked about the opportunity on Bocage. Even though how good Seattle is at that map, we know how Vivid has loved it all season long. And he goes in there, guns blazing, plays extremely quick. Big rotation, especially on that P2 hill. At the very end, we know Seattle loves that one. They're able to shut him down there. And then you look at that control. Nero went crazy, bro. When somebody's playing like that, so confident, so aggressive, it's going to be difficult.
It was phenomenal. But you know what? Enough from hearing from us. Let's go ahead and hear from Vivid himself for the Game Fuel Victory Spotlight. Yo, Vivid, first off, congrats on the big win. Congrats on your success on this new Boston Breach team, right? But I have to ask you, man, Lately, I've seen you in a lot more engagements that's just so much more vital and important for the team, right? You're getting a lot of impact kills. Would you say you have a lot more responsibility on this team than you did on Florida?
I think the role I just have on this team is different because obviously Nero is probably faster than me on the map. I feel like I'm in like more of a, like I'm playing more heads up and playing for like long term and like in spots that I'm not normally playing that he's kind of playing where I used to and just kind of just setting me up for more success, I feel like.
Vivid, you went crazy on that map one. I just gotta say it. You were literally popping off. You and Nero seem so comfortable on the map. Such a different performance in this series versus the last. What was the difference going up against Seattle than against Thieves?
I mean, this server was definitely better. The server versus LAT wasn't very good for us. And I think they said before I joined the team that their matchup against Seattle, they always match up well. So I knew that if we just played how we can, that it'd be a good match.
You know, Vivid, I love seeing you on screen. I'm pretty sure the Boston fans love seeing you too. So I'm gonna leave the floor to you to say, you know, what's up to the new community, man, and give us a reason why everyone should have their eyes stuck to the screen next time you're on.
Yeah, all the Boston fans, I appreciate the warm welcome. It's been great seeing the tweets and all the AVs with Boston Breach, and look forward to the same results as today. Keep more wins coming.
All right, Vivid, congrats on the big win. We'll talk to you later, man. Yo, Boston should be so excited right now for the simple fact that this was pretty much a bubble game for them as well. Even though, you know, one loss, they weren't going to be out of top 8 contention. With that one right there, they made their chances even healthier than before, man.
And what's crazy is, like, when we do show these points, like, you'll see this was a match that we were expecting Boston to lose. Honestly, outright. You know, Boston's looking at it, it's like, we can get away with losing that series and still being in a good spot, but winning that just flips it on its axis. Like, every team below them, like, because they have to keep up with teams like Thieves, who have been looking better, and then you look at all these teams below them, Røkkr as well, Mutineers. It's like, dang, Boston really just caught a dub. So now for them, Boston in the remaining schedule, despite having one of the hardest schedules, they got 2 wins versus OpTic and Surge so far. So it's looking good for the Boston Breach. They're still on that bubble, but got a little bit of wiggle room now going into.
Made it easier for them, but harder for everyone else out there. Also, who they made it hard against was their opponents, because the Scump play of the game is going to be the attack round 2, where Boston had their way with Seattle.
Yeah, I mean, you see, like, this becomes a very, very tense round. Like, it ended up being, like, I think it was 12-8. Yeah, 12-8. They hit 2 big team nades, or 2 big nades over up top radio there, and they get those 2 kills. They get on the point, but Seattle's able to get control once again, and then it comes down to like a 6v2 where they slow push. Vivid goes all the way around the back, and then they end up cleaning up number 8, which is Pred there, and they end up just closing it out. But yeah, it became very, very tense. They did a great job of just slowing down the Seattle Surge, not ever letting them get pushed up through P5 to try to spawn kill them. But, you know, for Surge, it was a tough round for them, right? Like, we saw Boston Breach get on point a couple times. They made some heroic efforts, but they lost too many lives in the process, and that's a testament to Boston Breach and the pressure that they were applying. They kept getting radio control and winning their ones, man.
Right, you know, I was just smiling just now because I know where you're gonna go with this one, but yo, Seattle getting a big L right here. Atlanta FaZe looking strong. Competition for Major IV is looking spicy.
Man, like, just when you wanna like crown a team like best team in the game, you just can't do it. You just can't do it. Who knows? But definitely Seattle Surge. They're gonna look at that one. Okay, there's still a lot of work to do.
You're right. You know what we're gonna look at? We're gonna look at the game field tactical play of the day. It's gonna be round 11, where London Royal Ravens beat out the Minnesota Røkkr, and this was Minnesota's map to win. This team has been on fire in Search and Destroy lately.
Yeah, man, they've been playing so much better, and you can see this retake. It's so fast. You see Nasty runs right over up top, and he's able to get the kill down low. And right there, I mean, if Priestahh pokes out from sand, he maybe kills him, and, you know, it's a different story. But you saw how fast that was. Like, Minnesota Røkkr, they go and they plant it right away. They're in a good position, but London Royal Ravens almost blind counter, just read it perfectly. And one of the better retakes that we've seen on Desert Siege.
You know, today was a really good day for Call of Duty, man. We got to see what Boston Breach were made out of. London Royal Ravens showed everyone that they are back to their stage 1 form. They are back in the mix, baby. They're a top team in the game again. But also, the first series of the day was beautiful, right? We had Atlanta FaZe face off against Toronto Ultra. Me, personally, I was hoping for a close game, but Atlanta FaZe said, we have more superstars than you. We're just better, and they walked away with a 3-0 dub.
Yeah, this is the scariest Atlanta FaZe that we've seen this season so far. For Toronto Ultra, you know, we're expecting this to be a closer game, especially after they're showing at the last major, but FaZe just came out here with something to prove, man. You know, they've they've been working on their search and destroy. We saw the 12-0 that they had against the LA Thieves. They look great there, but in this series, it really solidified it for me versus such a good search and destroy team in Toronto Ultra, playing Toronto Ultra on their like top 2 search and destroy map in Tuscan and just disrespecting them, pushing right through P5. We know what Cleanux likes to do on that map. He likes to get P5 control and be annoying, play through Fountain, get mid-map control at times. FaZe shut that down right away, so that's preparation and confidence that we haven't seen out of FaZe throughout this season. And yeah, out the get-go, man, Arcitys had a big map 1 as well, which is, you know, he's sort of been the X factor for this team at the end. He's popping off, they're playing well. And then Simp in that control, dude, the guy was going nuts in control. I mean, he picks up the glide bomb on that very next round. He's calls in the glide, gets 1 kill, then he pulls out his pistol, runs up top P1, gets a 3-piece. Like, that is just absurd play out of the guys. So for Atlanta FaZe, I mean, just a clean match from top to bottom.
It wasn't just that, though. Simp was dominating his 1Vs in Search and Destroy. And like you said earlier, Atlanta FaZe won their auto vetoes for the first 3 maps of this series. But moving forward to the second series of the day, this was one where I had a feeling. I had a feeling when I woke up this morning, when I made my predictions. Shout out to Breaking Point GG. I said, all right, Minnesota Røkkr are going to be the favorites to win this outright online, right? But we are just vastly underrating how good the London Royal Ravens actually are. And you know what I really love to see at the end of that series? You know who popped off? It was Afro. Seeing Afro pop off when this team is playing this good, it just feels natural, man.
Yeah, and what's crazy to me is like just the turnaround the Ravens had, like just like bringing Gizmo back in. Like he really does bring some things to the team that you just don't see, you know, in game all the time. Like it's really the vibes. Like he had a .86 in the series, so by all means, like he's not popping off individually, but everybody else's level of play is just so much different. They had some really clutch moments in this series as well. Like you talk about that round 11 in that retake, their adjustments they made in that search and destroy, and then the hard points as well. Some big rotations that we were seeing, and you know, also nasty. Like the guy is always making the right play, time and time again. Especially on a map like Berlin, he was making plays all around.
Right, and also I want to give a big shout out to Nasty. I don't know what it is with Gizmo, but when Gizmo's in the lobby, Nasty he elevates, he ascends, just yet another level. But ladies and gentlemen, that's it for the recaps for the games that we had today. Really fun matchups, right? Boston, they're winning out, even though they're on the bubble, so we're keeping track of the points race right now. But for what you guys need to keep track of is everything that's happening in the Call of Duty League, right? Whip out your cell phones right now and get forward, baby. You can get your new calling card on board with also being just on point with everything that's happening in the CDL universe ecosystem, whatever you might call it, right? But Nameless, man, day 1 for week 2 is over. Major IV is around the corner. We miss Alley. We've had some fun games. Boston Breach is good again. So, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling good, man. Like, Vanguard's is crazy, man. Teams just improving, getting better. It takes time, right? So I'm happy for Boston, and I'm ready to see what happens with the Seattle Surge team now. They got to bounce back from that loss, and then also Atlanta FaZe if they can keep this going. It's going to be exciting.
Right. Games this year in Vanguard is kind of like a box of chocolates, right? You really don't know what you're going to get, but you're always going to love it, though. But, ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time to close down. And that's Alley. If you're watching at home, we miss you. Trust me, we miss you so much. But for those of you beautiful people that have also been watching from home, thank you so much for tuning in to an amazing day of Call of Duty, right? Seeing teams such as Boston Breach and London Royal Ravens get big wins today, it just felt good. I don't know about you guys, right? But you know what's going to feel even better? When you tune in tomorrow for some more CDL action. Yes, we got some more big games. The bubble and the points are going to be all the discussion we're going to have. And we can't wait to see you guys along with our big stars play tomorrow. We'll catch you for some more Call of Duty action. We love you, and you take care.
Some of y'all leaving here in a stretcher. Took my time to go and get better. I was reading in the red letters. Ay, hit me with your best shot. I got time today. Feeling like a matador with that Red Bull. Oh, no, you can't stop me. I'm running my own play. For the game win, I came to pin anything that gets in my way. Been here, done that. You all know what we came for. Been here, done that. You all know what we came for. Energy, energy, energy. I need that energy, 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 energy. I need that. Been here, done that. You all know what we came for. Been here, done that. You all know what we came for. Energy, energy, energy. I need that energy, 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 energy. I need that energy, energy. Been here, we done that, we done that. You all know what we came for. You all know what we came for. We been here, we done that, we done that. Energy, energy, energy. I need that energy, energy. I'm in the game like EA. Been in my day. My work week is Sunday to oh wait, that's every day. Putting in overtime, punching the clock, I'ma get what's mine. While everyone's sleeping, I'm living my dreams. I got a coin that's so divine. Lord, take the wheel like 10 and 2. I'm losing energy, I'm overdue. I've been on the top ropes, hitting my pros. Watch me hit the power moves. Been here, done that. You all know what we came for. Been here, done that. You all know what we came for. Energy, energy, energy. I need that energy, 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 energy.